All stories have been narrated with the permission from the author. This is my first time posting here, or anywhere about this incident, so I apologise if details get a little bit confusing, but I'll try my best to make it as concise as possible. This happened a few months ago to my friends and I. We are university students in Cape Town, South Africa, so when we aren't trying to just get through the semester, we like to let our habits get the better of us and go out for drinks. On this night, we had just finished what felt like an extra long day at university and decided to head to the bar about 5 minutes from campus for some much needed stress relief. The evening was going well, although a bit slow. It was enjoyable with everyone having a drink and getting a bit restless. So, me being one of the more outgoing ones in the group, I suggested that we head to the pool bar not far from where we were. Everyone agrees, and we go get our stuff. We all jump in the car and we get to the bar, but being a Thursday night, parking was scarce. I finally managed to find a spot about a block away from the bar, but in a secluded side street. I should also mention that this bar is in one of the sketchier parts of town, but it's normally quite safe due to the amount of nightlife associated with being so close to the university. We walked to the bar and no one really felt uneasy, nor did anything happen to make us feel that way, which was quite surprising. After a few hours of just some pool and just relaxing, we decided it was time to grab dinner before restaurants close, as being in South Africa means that most restaurants, even fast food, close really early, at around 7 to 8 PM to comply with the curfew. We decided to stop at the pizza place below the bar to grab some food before we all decided what the plan was to end the night. So, because our group was so large and the pizza place was so small, we decided to have those getting food to go inside, while the others who didn't would just wait outside on the street. This was an easy decision as the pizza place had a massive open window with built-on counter, so we could all talk to each other. This is where things started getting a little weird. We were waiting for our friends inside the pizza place to come out. This massive white van pulls up past us and stops. The driver wasn't an intimidating looking dude. He was skinny, looked to be about average height and with shoulder long blonde hair. A pretty standard looking dude for the kind of area we were in. He calls me and asks if I think his van could fit in a parking spot just behind him. For perspective, this parking spot could probably fit like a small hatchback maybe. This dude is driving a full long-size panel van. This makes me kinda uneasy, as I thought that as a driver of a car, you should know where your car can definitely not fit, and this was one of them. I explained to him that I don't think it was even worth attempting. He responds telling me that he has faith in his ability, and I should come and stand behind the van and direct him. This gives me major red flags, and after a few back and forths, he just pulls the emergency brake up and sits and stares at my friends and I for what felt like an eternity. Then he thanked us and drove off. This sparks my friends to come outside of the pizza place as they saw what happened and were very confused. We were all kind of weirded out, but think nothing of it, and everyone eats their pizza, and we try to decide what the plan is for the last hour or two we have before curfew cuts things short. Most of us decide that this is where the night's going to end, as we're all kind of weirded out by the guy in the van. A few others decided they were going to stay and just Uber home a little later in the evening. With our group number cut down to 4, we decided to walk back to the car and just head home. When we left the pizza place, a homeless person called us and was insisting we had nothing to worry about with the guy in the van, which didn't help with anyone's nerves. We then decided to head to the car, but as soon as we turned the corner to approach the side street where the car was parked, we see Van Man again. This time not quite so happy as he seemed in his encounter earlier. I made a cheeky comment about him finally finding a parking spot he could fit in while we were walking past each other, and he just stared at my friends and I, not breaking eye contact even when we passed him. I turned around to see if he was still looking. He was, but as we turned the corner of the side street with the car, I saw it and my heart sank. The van, horribly parked half on and half off the sidewalk, back door slightly open. Upon seeing this, I turn around and see Van Man is now walking towards us, but he said something that confused me at first, but I immediately made sense after. He said, "Hey, please just watch my car," which confused me. But when he said that, 4 men sat up from leaning on the wall next to it and began following us. My friends and I were slightly ahead of them, so we were trying to discuss the game plan, because it was obvious if we did nothing, something horrible was going to happen. My friends start walking faster, and I remain at the same speed, frantically searching my pockets for my car keys, all while shouting at my friends to wait up and asking what the rush was. All in hopes that the guy behind us, who was gaining on us, were oblivious to us knowing that they had sinister intentions. As soon as the car came into view, we booked it, jumped in and drove away, but we were only seconds from not being that lucky. After locking the car doors, I saw the men surrounding the car. I managed to get us out, and looking back in the mirror, I saw the 5th man by the van at the bottom of the street. I still have no idea what their intentions were that night, if it was to rob us, or beat us up, or worse. I don't really like to think about how lucky we were that night. I asked that when you're out, no matter how innocent an interaction with someone can seem, always pay attention to the little things. So to the man in the van my friends and I saw that night, can we please not meet again? Thanks very much for allowing me to write your story. I really think it gets across a good message that you always need to be aware of your surroundings, especially when alcohol is involved, because you can put yourself in a lot more dangerous situations and you're not really as with it, and your natural instincts are impaired sometimes. So I really think this story really highlights that. So as a little message to everyone who's listening to this, make sure you're careful when you go out drinking. Even if you're with people, things can still happen. So thanks a lot. I live in a small town. You blink and you miss it. The best we can boast about is a single stop sign and a gas station, which we only have because the nearby highway. Any actual semblance of a town is 25 minutes away, so when things get scary out here, it's amplified. The occasional homeless person is no big deal. They're often drifting through. Drug addicts run rampant and will steal everything they can from your house, but it's normal out here. However, what happened a few years ago certainly wasn't normal. Originally, I was dead asleep in my bed. I only woke up because it was burning hot in my room, but it was summertime and not much I could do. I just remember tossing and turning until I got a creepy feeling that fell into the pit of my stomach. I glanced over to the bathroom door that was open with the light on. Everything was normal. I left the light on so I wouldn't trip and die if I had to pee in the middle of the night. Next, I glanced at the window directly across from my bed. I had no curtains, but I did have a really crappy set of blinds. Part of the blinds are broken from wear and tear, and the crappy AC output beneath it would make them move back and forth, so you'd get a glimpse of outside every so often. The yard light was still going, but what made me stop was that outline at my window. A figure of someone was directly at my window, almost like it was waiting for the blinds to move to watch me. I didn't have an imagination as a child. That had been trained out of me. But the sight was enough to put every horror film into my head at that moment. I squeezed my eyes shut and pulled my blankets over my head and slept in a cloth oven that night. By morning time, the figure was gone. I remember running to my mum's room on the verge of tears in the morning, telling her what happened. She laughed at me like I was an idiot, and told me it was probably just a stray cat that had climbed up here for the odd reason or another. I almost believed her, since my window was pretty high off the ground, but something didn't sit right. Late that day, when we were doing yard work, I glanced over at my window and saw one of our patio chairs had been pushed up to it. I pointed out to my mum, who proceeded to chew me out. "That's how the cat probably got up there, you moron. Stop leaving furniture everywhere." But I hadn't moved it. It was heavy enough that I'd struggled with it. So we moved it back, and so began a pattern. At night I'd see the figure, complain to my mum, and we'd find a chair moved back every single morning. This went on for weeks. My mother stopped caring about my concerns until one morning we saw where the outside screen of my window had been sliced open. I still remember her shaking her head and complaining about those damn stray cats that we still had yet to see. I could tell that she was unnerved by the development. I couldn't handle it anymore, and I opted to sleep in the living room that night. The only problem was our kitchen and living room were connected, which meant there were always several windows. The first night of my move went well, despite my back hurting from the couch. I avoided my room like the plague. It wasn't until 4 days later we ran into an issue. I woke up and glanced at the clock above the fireplace. It read a little past 3 a.m. I couldn't realise why I had woken up until it happened again. There was a beam of light shining in from the kitchen window, almost like someone was shining a flashlight in. I saw it trace along the walls and land on the love seat across from the couch I was on. I was mortified. When I told my mum, she continued to laugh at me. I gave in and decided I would sleep in my dad's room, even though it had a gigantic window. He slept in the recliner with a huge TV, so I felt more safe having someone around. The yard light was directly outside my window anyway. It seemed foolproof. That was until I woke up out of habitual fear and watched through the window across the bed. Everything seemed normal as the time dragged on, and I felt like a moron. Maybe my mum was right. That was until I saw a lone figure coming out of the woods by the backyard shed, walk directly under the light and head into the patio furniture like he'd been here plenty of times before. I still remember the large build of the man, and the confidence like one who lived here and wasn't creeping around my yard in the dead of night. I just remember listening to the TV until I fell asleep again, hoping to get another glimpse. My dad would have been pissed if I had woken him up. He was grumpy on a good day and terrifying on a bad day. I didn't feel like risking it until I had solid proof because I was so scared. The next morning, my mum chewed me out again for the patio furniture, which was routine almost a month later. But this time something new happened. She demanded I stop playing in the toolboxes of the garage. A bunch of tools had been taken out and left on our doorstep. Screwdrivers, a large hammer, flashlights, etc. It wasn't me. I begged my mum and pleaded with her just to stay out with me one night. We couldn't close our garage because it was an open carport, and I wasn't going to get my ass beaten for touching tools because of someone else. It was driving me mad. Finally she agreed. That night we would stay awake in the living room. Finally I fell asleep before my mum did, but I remember her waking me up in a panic. She pointed to the window that overlooked our garage. We could see the top of someone's head as they walked back and forth. There was a sound of someone placing metal tools down on brick steps, as if they were trying to be quiet but couldn't fully muffle it. She whispered for me to go wake my dad. My dad was angry, having been woken up in the middle of the night by his frantic daughter. He grabbed his pistol and headed out the back door, towards the front of the house where the garage was located. We heard my dad screaming and someone dropping tools, then the shot of a gun twice. The frantic footsteps pounding out of the garage felt like they were coming from my chest. My mum peeked through the window and opened the door, and my dad stumbled in. He had missed both shots because of his unstable aim, but told us that there was a man crouching at our front door, looking at our door handle. None of us slept that night, and in the morning, the law from the closest town arrived. They didn't do much besides ask if anything had been stolen, for a description of the man, and then told us to install cameras. That was it. They said the guy was probably just looking for something easy to steal for the quick money. If that had been the case, why hadn't he stolen the tools, the generator, the welder, or broken into any of the vehicles just sitting in the garage? We finally set up a hunting trail cameras around the house, but nothing has happened since. Coming home from college for holidays, I still have nightmares about the incident years later when I sleep in my own bed. I don't know what he was looking for or why he did the things he did. Whatever the case may be, man at the window, let's not meet. When I was much younger, I used to go out and party almost every night. I couldn't stand staying at home, and being out in town felt so good, especially with friends. We would go bar hopping, and one of the pubs that we frequented was called Poppin'. We would get wasted, as the alcohol here is dirt cheap due to the island being duty free. So imagine being teenagers and being wasted most of the time. Not a good combination, and bad things are bound to happen. I grew up in this island, and I know many of the townsfolk here. It's a relatively safe place to be, since it's just a small island. You could literally leave your car doors unlocked, and no one would steal your car. Hence why there's nowhere to run, and the only way out the island is either by flight, speedboat, or Roro ferry. So back to the story. I was out one night with my buddies as usual, having some drinks at a local pub. We were having a great time and listening to a live band that was playing at the time. It was crowded inside, and people were drinking and dancing. Me and my friends were too. My friend's name is Steve. See, Steve and I were close, and I knew him since he was in high school. At the time, I was in my early 20s. We were good friends, and while I was at the pub, suddenly he called me to go outside and accompany him to go see someone. Curiously, I followed him outside, and when I asked him, he told me just to back him up, and that the guy we were going to meet was apparently dating Steve's younger sister, and Steve didn't like that one bit since his sister was still in high school. So when he came, Steve warned him not to disturb his sister and to stay away from her, which I thought was fair. Then, being the hero wannabe, I butted in and started telling him the same thing, and he wasn't taking it one bit from me, and got really pissed instead. He said that I was going to regret opening my mouth and just walked off. We went back inside, and I started calling friends, telling them that a fight was going down, as I knew that guy was going to call his friends as well. About 15 minutes passed, and I got called out, and this guy had brought about 15 to 20 guys, and they surrounded me and Steve. And then this guy's uncle pulled me aside and slapped me, saying that I was a dead man. I tried to fight back, but then he did something that really shook me up. He brandished an army knife from his back jeans. The kind that has those teeth-like texture at the back end of the blade. The kind that could literally be used to pull your guts out. Yeah, that kind of knife. I froze and didn't know what to do while he was holding onto my t-shirt with one hand and had the knife in the other. Immediately, I thought to myself, oh shit, I'm gonna get stabbed and probably killed tonight. So much was racing through my mind that I couldn't think. According to Steve, most of these guys had weapons on them. One of them even broke beer bottles and was holding up the sharp broken glass ready to hurt us. Then out of nowhere, my brother-in-law came screaming, saying that he was a cop and that backup was coming if they didn't settle it there and then. My brother-in-law is a big guy that stands almost 6 feet tall, so I knew that they believed that he was a cop, and it started to settle down. The guy that was dating Steve's sister still wasn't satisfied and wanted to fight me one-on-one. At first I denied him, but after he kept insisting I said yes. Luckily, he didn't go through with it, and we just settled it with a handshake. He told me not to go after his uncle and wanted to really settle. I agreed, since this was such a small island and you would meet the same people all the time. I went home after that, as I had enough of the night, and that incident shook the alcohol out of me and sobered me up. I still saw that guy and his knife-wielding uncle a couple of times when I was out in the town, but we just nodded to each other and never had any problems with each other since. So that's my story of the time I almost got stabbed and probably killed by someone's random uncle, just for butting in their conversation, which was none of my business in the first place. And that's the reason why I no longer favour going out to drink till you can't think straight. I think it's better to stick to herbs instead and just chill at home. Hello everyone, I hope you're all okay. This is the part of the video where there's no more stories, so if that's what you're here for, then there's plenty of other stories on my channel, and there's plenty of other channels that do scary stories, so find one of those channels if you're bored of my voice. But yeah, this is where we're just going to have a chat, isn't it, really? I've actually already recorded like 20 minutes of talking, but I'm recording a new one because I felt like normally it's pretty crap, isn't it? But I really felt like that was setting the bar quite low, so I'm going to record something new. Not that this is going to be much better, but we're going to have a go, aren't we? But yeah, how have you guys been? Let me know how you guys have all been, like what you've been up to, and you know, what's been going on in your lives. Let me know. I've had quite a lot of stuff going on. But what are we going to talk about today then? Because I don't actually plan what I'm going to talk about when I do this. I sort of just ramble on. Oh, this is something that happened recently. See, I went to this, it's like a buffet thing. It's quite cheap. In England, it's called Toby Carvery. So if you're from England, you know what I'm on about. But for those of you who aren't from England, basically, it's like a roast dinner. So a roast dinner is like beef, pork, turkey and all that. Yorkshire puddings, and you won't know what Yorkshire puddings are, will you, if you're not from England? Well, if you look them up on Google, they're really good. Like vegetables, potatoes and all that. You get all that, like gravy, all that sort of stuff. And it's like a buffet. It's like £7 or something. It's not that much. But so I went there a couple of weeks ago, right? And I love a Toby Carvery, right? So I stack the food up as well. I even the guy who because they have to dish it out for you, like the meats and stuff. Even the guy who's doing that was like, "You're going crazy." And I was like, "Fucking no, I am." But yeah, so I pile it on. I came back with like a mountain of food and put it down. Considering everyone's paying the same price as well, so you're gonna stack it up, aren't you? And if you don't eat it, you don't eat it. You paid for it. But so basically, I sat down and there were these two really old people that were sitting next to me, and I could see them looking at my plate, and then I could see, when you indicating to someone to look over, he was opposite his wife, I think it was, and he was with his eyes directing at my plate, being look at that, and they were both staring at my plate and shaking their head and tutting. I could see them sighing and looking at my plate, because I had as much food on my plate as they probably had both of theirs put together and more. I had a lot. But then he shaking his head going, and he's got no vegetables, so I could hear as well, and I thought, you cheeky old fuck, is what I was thinking. I haven't got a problem with old people, but I thought, why are you being like that? Normally I find older generations are more respectful, but I thought, what is the problem with me putting food? I almost, out of spite as well, I made myself feel so sick, because I just kept eating it. I was full about halfway through, and I kept eating it until I got almost completely done, just out of spite, so they could see. They probably thought I was a right little pig, but yeah, that's what happened. And I thought, why have people got to be rude? It's my biggest, I find it funny, right? But at the same time, I was thinking, leave it out. Do you know what I mean? I've not done anything wrong. I paid the same amount as them. If anything, I was thinking, have you gone to Toby Carvery by accident? You don't come here to get a few. They had about fucking 5 carrots between them, and I thought, it's pathetic, is what I was thinking. But yeah, so that was my little incident that happened recently, and I just thought, leave it out. I've not done anything wrong. If you're going to be rude, don't do it in front of me. I thought, rudeness and bad manners are my biggest pet peeves. I cannot stand rudeness. I absolutely despise it. It really, really winds me up more than anything in the world. I hate bad manners and rudeness. I really do. I think it doesn't hurt to be nice. Being nice to people doesn't hurt. But I know they weren't being horrible. I know they weren't being nasty. But I just thought, leave it out. But yeah, what else can I talk about? What has been going on? Can anyone fill me in on what's been going on in the world? Because I don't watch the news or anything, and I don't actually know what's been happening. I saw something was happening with Afghanistan and that, but I don't actually know what's going on. If anyone could fill me in, because I don't really keep up to date on the world news or anything. I think for me, I just prefer to focus on myself, really. And I know that might be a bad thing, but I don't like the negativity of the news and the newspapers and that, and I just block all those sort of outlets and stuff, because it doesn't really, I don't know, I feel like I just like being in my own little world sometimes, my own little bubble. That's what I tend to do. I'm also on the stories front. There's gonna be like, I don't know, I haven't been uploading that much recently, but I'm gonna be away for a little bit soon, so there might be a little bit of a delay between videos, but there always is, isn't there, really, with me. But just so you guys know that there is going to be like a slight delay with the stories and that sort of thing, and sometimes it takes a while for me to get the story, so I'll do my best, you know, I always do, but you guys know me enough to know that I'll be back with stories at some point when I can, you know. So don't worry too much. I know you're not going to worry anyway. I know no one cares, but just in case you wondered more than anything. Do you know what? I've really hurt my groin as well, and I don't know what I've done. I'm quite clumsy as well, to be honest. Like, I'm always like tripping and walking into things and banging my arm and leg on things. I don't know what I've done, something, but I think I've jarred my groin. It really hurts. Even like lifting my leg up really hurts, and that's a problem for me because I love exercise, and I feel like if I do exercise, I'm just going to make it worse. I need to just not do any exercise. But at the same time, it's like, I'm fucking bored. I want to do exercise. I get bored. I don't know about you lot, but I get bored so easily as well. Like, if I'm indoors for like even today, I've not left the house yet because I'm recording this on the weekend, but like, I've not left the house and I'm so bored. I've just got, even if I go for a walk or go to the shops or something, don't even have to buy anything, just get out for a little bit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I get so bored, and it's so, I can't just sit indoors all day. I don't know how people can just sit indoors all day. Do you know another thing I can't work out as well? Tell me if you're like this, any of you. So when people go, like, I don't know, if the weather's nice or if you go on holiday or something, like, how can people sit out in the sun all day, like, literally just sit there like marinating? I don't know how you can do it. Like, get on a sun. I tried once to get a tan, and I am pale. I am proper pale, like, you know, from England. It's never sunny. You know, it's cold most of the year, so I'm fucking pale. And I tried to, when I went to Turkey, this is like a few years back, I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna get a tan. And Turkey is like boiling hot. Like, it's the hottest place I've ever been. It was absolutely molten, and I thought, I'm gonna try and get a tan. I sat out in the sun for about 35 minutes. I got a heat stroke and I was dehydrated, and I thought, I'm not doing that again. I had a banging headache. I felt like death. I felt like I was on death's door. So, and then went to go into the sea, didn't I? I thought, the sea's always a bit cold, so I thought I'll just plod into the sea. I got bitten by a fish, a little fish. As soon as I went in the sea, it ran up and bit me, started bleeding. I thought, everything's out to get me in Turkey, I tell you that. Turkey's out to get me. Don't bloody like me there. Even the fish, even the little bloody fish boys want me. But yeah, I wish I was one of the people that could get like proper like tan, do you know what I mean? Like a nice dark tan, but I just can't. It's burn. It's annoying, to be honest. Oh yeah, this happened as well. When I was on the beach in Turkey, some bloke was coming up to me. Do you know the people that try and sell things on the beach? I think he's trying to sell, or trying to get people to like water activities or something. I don't know what he was doing. I think he was one of the people that worked on the beach, and he was trying to get people to get like pedlos and surfboards and all that stuff and sell ice creams. I don't know what he was doing. He come up to me and he went, first thing he said, what are you doing here? And I thought, I was like, sunbathing. And he was like, no, you're white chicken, you shouldn't be here. And I thought, what do you mean, white chicken? I mean, it was funny. It was, to be fair, it was a good joke, and it was at my expense. But I thought, just when I thought, you know what, I literally, just before then, I turned to my girlfriend and I went, I think I'm actually catching the sun a bit. And, well, I'm definitely not, because a white chicken over here doesn't catch the sun. But yeah, I wish I was one of those people that could just get a tan, fit in. I want to fit in when I go to like sunny places, but I just don't. Like, I don't know. Like, you see all these people, like, not putting any sun cream on, and you think, how are you doing that? Like, they put oil. They're like lobsters. They put oil on their skin. They just lay there. They get all leathery skin, don't they? But they look good because they've got a nice tan. But, yeah. Do you know what? I want to go back to Turkey one day. I really like Turkey. I like how everything's so cheap out there as well compared to where I live. Like, I remember I got followed home at one point as well, because it's the day I got there, and like, I don't have loads of money, so I don't go on these really expensive holidays. So like, the area I went to, I don't know if it was like a bit of a dodgy area. I don't really know. I don't know most places in Turkey are like, but the whole holiday cost me like, for like £400 for like all inclusive for like a week or something. It wasn't like expensive. Like, didn't cost me a fortune. And this was years, like 3 or 4 years ago now. And yeah, so we got there. I was starving, hungry, because I got like the cheap flights as well, when it's like you get there at like the arse crack of dawn and it's like middle of the night. So we got there and was walking back to the hotel. Well, no, we was at the hotel. We checked in, and then was really hungry. So we thought we drove past like the coach, went past like this little kebab shop, and I thought, go on then. And it was like a one lira kebab. 1 lira is literally like, it's like 30p or something. I don't know what it is, and it's really, really cheap. Like, I don't know what that would be in like dollars or cents or whatever, but like 50 cents or something. I don't really know, but it was like a big kebab wrap, and it was well nice. I got one of them, went in there. Boss man cooked me up the good wrap, didn't he? It was proper nice. Gave him a tip as well. Gave him another lira. I think I paid him the whole price of the thing again, didn't I? I gave him 2 lira for it, and it was 1 lira. Splashing out. And I was walking back, eating me old wrap, and someone started following me. And I was thinking, this is the middle of the night as well. I'm thinking, this is a bit weird. Like, the only person on the street, and he was following my exact path. So I crossed the road. This is my own sort of scary story. So this could be another story, actually, on the video. So basically, right, I was walking back, middle of the night, eating me wrap. Think I probably had a drink as well, a Coke or something. I crossed the road, and he's still following me. And I thought, this is weird. And he had there's more people behind him as well, I think. And he was the one that was nearest to me. And then I crossed back again. He follows me again. I thought, this is weird. So I walked down into this little path towards the hotel, and it wasn't my hotel. I thought maybe he's just walking about. Maybe I'm just overthinking this. So I walked all the way down to near the entrance to this random hotel. He came as well. Went round a little bollard thing. He went round it as well. Kept walking. He kept speeding up as well. I thought, I can't run. I've got my flip flops on. I've got my old big flip flops on. So I thought, I'm not going anywhere. Nowhere fast anyway. So I started speed walking, but then the flip flops started making that slapping against the ground. So it sounds like I'm panicking. I thought, oh shit. I'm not panicking, but I thought, oh, this is dodgy, innit? First day I get here, and someone's trying to bloody shank me up for me kebab. And so I just really went quick. So I started jogging, and then he started speed walking, and half jogging towards me. I just got to my hotel, and as I went into the hotel, we got up to the door, and he saw me go in, so he just turned around and walked back off. I thought, that's dodgy, innit? That's dodgy. That's not right. So yeah, that's what happened. So that's my little scary story, what happened when I was in Turkey. But yeah, apart from that, it was a really good holiday. I bloody love Turkey. The food's really good. The weather's amazing. Even it was 42 or 43 degrees or something, and I'm from England, and it's not. You know what I mean? We don't see them sort of temperatures ever. I felt like I was melting. It was. I couldn't even go outside at some points. It was bloody hot. It was too hot. But yeah, I don't know why I can't even got onto this. Anyway, can you guys tell me some of your scary experiences? And actually, you know what? If you have any stories, this would help me get stories. If my email's in the about section on my channel. So if you have a scary story you want to email me, just send it in. If you can though, just do the best grammar and spelling and like punctuation and everything that you can, because it makes it a lot easier to read. But if you want to read me to read your story, like if you've got one, then I'll do it. If you've got a decent story, just if you want to be credited, then put your name and that. Say what you want to be credited as. If you want to be anonymous, then just say I want to be anonymous, and I won't say anything, obviously. But yeah, tell me some of your scary stories in the comments, and if you've got one you want me to read on the channel, then just send it to me. But yeah, also I found some more charities that I want to donate to, so I'm really happy about that. One or two like mental health charities, and I'm always doing the head injury charity, which I've been donating £10 a month to. I think I've donated about £100 to that now. Almost. It'll be, I don't know, maybe about £80, £70, but getting to 100 soon. And I found another one as well. Also, someone mentioned one like for what was it for? I can't remember now. It was like a homeless charity. Something in America it was. I can't remember. I'll have to look. But someone mentioned it, so I'll have a look at that, and I might do that one too. But yeah, if you've got any other charities that you'd recommend, then let me know, because I'm really trying to make an effort to do a lot of like charity stuff at the minute. I think it makes me feel good knowing that I can make like a difference to someone's life. And it's not a massive difference, but you know what I mean? It makes me happy to know that I can help people and that sort of thing. That's the main thing for me. I want to help people. I really do. That's like, I say it's the biggest thing for me, what I want. Like, I really want to be a good person and help people. I know I'm a good person already, but I really want to help people. And like, most of the comments I got on YouTube are like really nice as well, and that just means a lot to me. You know who you are. There's a lot of yous out there that are really nice to me, and I really appreciate it. Like, I honestly do. Like, I do think about you guys quite a lot as well. Like, I try to reply to every message that I get from yous, and it's just sometimes really nice to have that sort of interaction with you lot. Whereas I know a lot of other channels don't really talk that much to yous, and not saying it makes much of a difference. I know I'm not a big channel or anything, but it's nice to, I think, have like a connection with you. I see you as like pen pals. I think I said this before, like sort of like pen pals. Like you're all my mates. You know what I mean? Like you're all friends. We're all friends. But yeah, everyone is welcome to my channel. Like, it doesn't matter what religion, race, gender, anything. Everyone's welcome, as long as you're nice. That's the only criteria, is you have to be nice. Don't be horrible. Don't be a knob. Just get on with people. Be nice. And, if I want this to be like a place where people can come to and like get away from everything. Do you know, like, you need. I think you need that. Like, you need something that's like there that you can sort of. Do you know what? I want it to be like you're at work or something, or like you've got work that day and you think, I can't bother with that, but I want you to think, but I've got this little community that I can go to whenever I want, that's there. Do you know what I mean? Later on tonight, I'll sit down with a tea, watching this video, go to this comment section, and the people there are going to be nice. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want it to be, and that's what I think we're getting to with like this channel now, and I really like that a lot, to be honest. Like, do you know what? You lot need to make a name for yourselves as well, like a little community name or something. I don't know what it would be, but it doesn't have to be even related to my channel, but I want you to discuss in the comments like a little community name that you can have, like a little comment section name or whatever. That would be good. I'd like that. Like, it hasn't got to be anything to do with like my channel name. It can be like your own little thing, but I just want to see what you sort of come up with. But yeah. And also, do you know what I've done? I know I said I was going to stop drinking fizzy drinks, didn't I? And I haven't. That's a thing that I need to confess to. I bloody haven't. I've been having Lucasades, Dr Pepper, Pepsi, Coke, lemonade. I've been a right little pig recently. I need to stop. I'm a bloody mess. I need to stop it. I don't know why I really wanted to just drink water, and I got to a point. I think I said to you before, like, I've been drinking lots of water and I feel better. I went bloody wild, didn't I? Proper relapse. My hardcore addiction that I've got there, you know. And tea, I drink a lot of tea. I have one sugar in my tea. I really want to not have any sugars at all in my tea, but I just cannot bring myself to not have sugar in my tea. It's just vile without sugar, and I just can't do it. So I just really need to, you know, sugar just makes tea, doesn't it? So I really do need to, you know, just, I don't know, half a sugar is what I need to cut down to. Something like that, I don't know. But yeah. Oh, also the Paralympics are on soon, aren't they? Does anyone know when they actually are? I should probably just look this stuff up rather than asking you, but I'm interested. I like the Paralympics. I went to the Paralympics when it was in London. Actually, it was really good. It was like I went to the it was like the track events I went to. So it was like I can't remember what meters it was, but it was really good. I'd like to go to the swimming as well, like one day. Like I'd love to go to another Olympics. Like I'd like to go to a main Olympics too. Like I went to the Paralympics, which was really good. But I'd also like to go to like a main Olympics as well. But whether I'll be able to get tickets ever for that. I think the next one's in France, isn't it? So maybe I could go to France one day. And I mean, I've been to France before, but it's so close to where I live. You know, France isn't far. But I'd love to go to like an Olympics out there or something. But yeah. If anyone's actually from France, can you tell me if you actually eat snails? Because I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's just a stereotype. But do people from France actually eat snails? And what do they taste like? And how do you even eat them? The thought of it is disgusting to me. But tell me if you can, because I couldn't imagine having an old Jim Boy Jr. snail, could I? Oh, I don't think I could. I just don't think I could eat a snail. No, definitely not, if I'm honest with you. But this is a bit waffly now. I think it's fading now, isn't it, this? But yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys have been up to and how you've all been. And hopefully you've all been good. But yeah, so I'm going to end this now. Love you all, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.